Hello everybody, this is going to be a tutorial on how to beat Captain Brineybeard without taking damage. To keep things simple, I'm just using the Peashooter weapon and Smoke Dash Charm as both are accessible at the start of the game. So Briney has only two phases, but the first phase is split into three sections, which is where he adds more attacks to the phase, depending on how much damage you've done to him. So right at the start of this phase, there's only two things. The first is the barrel, which is there for the entire fight, which drops down when you are below him whilst his eyes are pointing down. After he's dropped down once, he won't drop down for a while his eyes are wide, so that's the tell for that. The second thing he does is attack with these small projectiles, which he can fire up to 3. And if he does fire 4, there'll be 3 parryables and 1 yellow one, which is not parryable. But he can fire different numbers of them up to 4. So that's really good in that phase. You can really use a lot of EX attacks in that because of how many parryables are in that phase. So we've done enough damage, so we're going to the second part of this phase, where he will now start summoning a few things. The first is that squid, as you saw, which I like to get rid of. If the ink balls hit you, it darkens your screen, which isn't the best. So I try and get rid of it using the EX attacks to speed it up. The second thing you can summon is that shark, which you'll see going past in the background, and it also has an audio cue, which then will come across to about halfway across the arena. So like I say, even as these things are happening, he still has his firing projectiles attack, and the barrel is still coming down, which you need to be aware of. And then the final third summon that he can do is those bulldog fish things that go along the bottom of the arena. There is an audio cue for that, and as well as an eye will appear at the bottom right. 4 of those will appear along the floor. So yeah. Like I say, this fight is all about stuff getting added and keeping aware. One thing with the barrel is you can trigger it early. You don't really want it being triggering when you're on the right side, so triggering it early is a good way to avoid that. Like I say, the shark, you can see the fin in the background. The squid, it doesn't have a tail really, although you can sort of tell when it's not either of the other two, tails. We'll get rid of that with the X attacks. And the bulldog fish, there'll be an eye in the bottom right, which you'll be able to tell. And then we've gone into the final part of this phase, where the ship will now fire in these cannonballs, which you need to be aware of. He does 3 chewing movements, so to speak, and that is when he will fire the cannonball. So if you are staying close to him and getting the damage in, you can stay close, and you'll be able to tell exactly when he's going to fire off. Be careful being super close sometimes, because he can do an instant attack with that pink projectile squid. As well as you can actually stay close, so as you saw that I smoke dashed into him. That allows you to stay in the air for slightly longer, so if you miss time the jump over the cannonballs, you can use the dash to hold yourself in the air, and even using the X attacks to pull yourself in the air. And then this final phase there's several ways to do it. So as you see here, I stay close, and when he fires, I jump, as the projectile it fires always starts below, and we can jump over and get some damage in. The second way to do it is go on the other side of the arena, and we're going to be jumping over these projectiles. I would be firing my Peashooter at this moment, but I'm just letting the fight take a bit longer. So you can do it like that, and you'll be firing all the time. Like I say, be careful of the barrel. Here I trigger it early. And then the third method, or this is really a sort of safety thing, so if you are stuck in a bad position, you can actually crouch in the bottom left corner, and the projectiles can't hit you. And you can also smoke dash whilst crouched. That's a good way to trigger the barrel as well. But in terms of pure damage dealt, the best place to be is here, keeping an eye on when he's going to shoot and jumping over him. Again, you can use the smoke dash into the ship, as you don't take contact damage on the ship, in order to hold yourself in the air if you miss time to jump slightly. Yeah. Like I say, barrel is probably the trickiest point in this run, because it's there for the entire thing, and so with practice you'll know when to trigger it early by going backwards and trying to get underneath it, so you don't get trapped in the bottom right corner, because that's probably one of the worst places for it to drop down. So try and trigger it early before it gets to that bottom right position. And in that final phase, you can stay on the very left and do the jump over whilst firing, or if you want, he's just focused on pure damage, jump when he's firing those fire projectiles. But yeah, that's Captain Brineybeard. If there is any queries on that, then put in the comments below. I'm also live at Twitch at twitch.tv/wayofloki. If there is any queries, I'll be happy to help. And as always, there's written tips in the description. If you're interested in more Cuphead book boss guides or found some value in this video, then hit that subscribe button, and I shall see you in the next video.